I had no castle to give. Could I have made one? I would have gave one to you. Of sand and stone I've plenty, in style 16th century. I should have made a castle for you.
There is. I have 28 nurses here on the children's ward, and they're all paediatric nurses, so they're all trained to look after children. We look after a variety of illnesses. Probably about 50% of the ward is general medicine, and the other 50% of the ward is some surgical cases, a lot of orthopaedics and plastics. So the children that break their arms and get their fingers jammed in the doors, we look after all those children here for Monash Health.
Are there different doctors for surgery and different doctors for other things?
There's doctors that specialise just in kids, and they just look after kids. And then amongst those doctors, there's doctors that will look after different aspects of child health. So you might have a doctor that only looks after the hearts of kids, or only looks after, say, the brain or the lung in kids. So yeah, there's lots of different niche areas.
How many kids are placed in the children's ward weekly?
We look after about 60 to 70 children here per week, so about 240 a month, which works out about 3,000 children that come through here per year. So a lot of children. We have a high turnover of children. Our average length of stay is about 1.5 days.
How many times do you see or check up on a child daily?
All the children have to be at least seen each hour, and they're signed off that they're seen every hour on the hour. But they get seen a lot more than that as well. So they get seen. There's always a nurse in the children's rooms.
If there's an emergency and a family turns up, what would you do?
Keep them up to date with what's happening, but we wouldn't be able to let them into the child straight away because there may be a lot of doctors and nurses around helping that child. But if they brought their child in from home, and an unwell child in from home came straight to our ward, we would make sure the child is okay and take them down to emergency. But if the child was really sick when they arrived on the ward, we have what we'd call it's a MET call. So we would ring the switchboard, we would say there is a MET call or a code blue on children's ward, and all the doctors would come and make sure that child's okay. It could be a baby, it could be an older kid. So yes, that's what we would do. But we have systems in place that would manage it so it wouldn't get out of control.
Is there an interpreting service for families who do not understand English?
We do have an interpreter. We have interpreting services 24 hours a day. If they're out of hours, we can always get an interpreter on the phone, but in hours the interpreters will come to the ward, and they cover hundreds of different languages that we need here in the community.
What's the average age of a child that comes to the ward?
Well, we look after children from 0 to 18. I guess every day is a little bit different. Sometimes there's lots of babies, sometimes there's lots of teenagers, and sometimes there's lots of school-aged children like yourselves.
What kinds of rooms are in the children's ward?
We have 8 rooms where the children have their beds and they sleep. We have 2 single rooms, and the other ones are 4-bed wards. We have a parents' sitting room so the parents can go and have a break. We have a nurses' sitting room so the nurses can go and have a break. We also have a playroom for the children to go and do some play activities.
Can you explain what your job is?
The main role for a social worker in a hospital, though, is to provide support to families with children in the hospital. So that can be a lot of different things, and a lot of that is if they need some emotional support, so if they're finding it hard when their kids are in hospital, or if they need other practical support, so if they've got housing issues, if they're having trouble with money, and lots of other things as well.
Do you come to the children on a daily basis or just sometimes a week?
Yep. So me and my team leader come through the ward every day in the mornings to see if there's anyone that we can support here in the ward. But sometimes we don't come, we're not here every day. So it really depends upon if there is a family here that needs social work support. Sometimes that's every day, sometimes that's once a week. So it really depends.
that job be a very interesting one, playing with the kids and everything?
I love playing with the kids here. The playroom over there is a really fun place to be, and I think it's a place away from the chaotic environment in the hospital, so kids tend to love being able to play with all the toys and play with other kids as well.
Is it challenging working in the children's ward?
Yeah, sometimes I find it quite challenging because I find it quite sad sometimes when I go home and we have sick babies, but I think generally it's a very nice place to work and we have a lot of good times and a lot of fun with the kids, so I love working here, but it can be challenging, yes.
Do you think being a nurse is a good job?
You get a great deal of pleasure from being a nurse, and you can meet some wonderful, wonderful people, so that's why I love coming to work.
Are you supported working here?
Yes, I think we are. We've got a very lovely team and we all get along very well. If we've ever got problems, we've got a great boss we can speak to, and we have lovely, lovely staff members, and I always feel like there's someone I can go to talk to if I have any problems.
Is there a service that supports families in tough times?
We do have social work, and I think you've met Jess, the social worker, and we've also got a pastoral carer as well that can come and meet with the children and the families on the ward. And we also have lots of different volunteers as well that can come and spend some time with the children and the families.
Is there services in the children's ward that are for people of different cultures?
We have a prayer room that they can go to, and that caters for all cultures. We have the sacred centre down near our front door.
Is it hard to see sick kids on a daily basis?
It is hard seeing the sick children, but it's very rewarding seeing them get better.
When I go to the doctor, I usually see my doctor sitting in front of the computer. What do they do on the computer?
Write their notes on the computer. Yeah, and so I guess when you go and see your doctor, they can pull up your notes from the last time they saw you, and then they can remember who they're talking to, and then they'll write their notes on for the day, and they can, keep up to date that way.
Do families pay to visit the hospital?
No, this is a public hospital, so it's all under the Medicare system.
What type of food is available for the children, and is there food available for all cultures?
So children get their meals provided for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and also snacks in between if they want snacks and drinks in between. For the meals, the children and the families can choose their own food on the diet sheet. They can tick what they want for breakfast, lunch and dinner. There's a main menu for children, but there's also some varieties such as halal, vegetarian, and also we have an allergy-free menu as well. So if children have got any allergies, we can get allergy-free meals so they don't have any allergic reactions here in hospital.
I knew no wishes to fulfill. Your secret keeper, like the enigma to me. Could I have guessed your fantasy? I could have left you fancy free. I should have made your wishes come true. Everybody's throwing gifts away, but I fail to show you how much I owe you. Had I left happiness to spare, I'd sent it sweetly, posted discreetly to you. Oh, for the magic potion